What's up guys, it's Liz here. Welcome back to my channel. So, what do you think about the build? It's pretty amazing, right? So basically we are using the old tag from previous version. If you remember correctly, I think COC bloodmage. I mean it's the same. But like there's some changes, like we're using siphon elements and also yep, other stuff is basically the same. So for the gear that I'm using is a staff because one is nerf, also the focus. So staff is better right now. I think. Yeah, probably yeah. What do you want on the staff is if you can you want a triple gain as elemental damage if you can, or like a gain any elemental damage, but I do prefer to get a gain as extra cold and also gain as extra lightning for the main priority because we are taking this node elemental equilibrium. So when you get lightning infusion, you instead get cold infusion. That's why we can get cold infusion even though we are not doing any cold damage, so that our spark can be infused with cold, which is great. Also, why do I prefer gain lightning and gain cold? Because for Comet can be infused with fire. So if you have cold damage, you can get a fire infusion. Yeah, pretty amazing. Alright, so for the build, there's actually two options that you can do. The first option is to path to blood magic here, or you can use this unique helmet, Mask of the Sanguinenter Face Mask, because both will give you blood magic. So why do I prefer not to use this helmet? It's because I want the flexibility on my helmet. Like I can change this helmet to like a normal helmet with good resistance and also high energy shield, which is great, or this helmet for damage because it will increase all skill by 1. Or you can use Tailwind because if I remember correctly, if you use Tailwind, if you do critical hits, you can gain Tailwind. The Tailwind helmet, I think the name is Corsair Cap, I think. Yeah. Alright. So for the 3, the important stuff is only here and also blood magic. For the other stuff, it's really flexible, guys. You can path to here, but remember your main focus is to get a lot of critical hit chance and also critical damage bonus, because we're building crit using blood mage. Also, the top priority gear that you must get first is these gloves, because with these gloves, leech from critical hit is instant. And also we also get a life leech from spell damage from the blood mage ascendancy, So 10% of spell damage leech as life. That way we can sustain our life and also our skill cost. Because if there's an enemy and your skill hits the enemy, basically you have infinite life. That's pretty amazing. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that for my version of this build, I take this node efficient encryption because by taking this node with only 129 spirit, I can use Siphon elements and cast on critical and still have 22 spirit left. That's pretty amazing, right? So, as you can see, cast on crit only use around 70. Oh my god, my math is not mathing. Around 70. 77 spirit. Yeah, 77 spirit for the cast on crit. Alright, so alright, you can take a look for the tree if you want to pause or you want to open POB. Alright, that's all for the tree. Now for the gems. For lightning bolt, we are using cooldown recovery, deliberation, spell cascade, concentrated area, spark, rapid casting 2, projectile acceleration, fork, lightning mastery, prolonged duration, siphon elements, harmonic remnants, remnant potency. I don't know if this is working or not for infusion remnants, but you can socket it in here, so I think it works. Lightning mastery, cast on crit, comet, energy tension, bonus energy, concentrated area, cold mastery. If you want more clear, you can change concentrated area to like a spell cascade, so there's a lot of comet raining down when you're doing maps. For concentrated area, you can use it for boss, elemental weakness, generic, frost wall, fortress 2, cooldown recovery, magnified area, spell cascade, frost bomb to generate your fire infusion. Remember, cold is if you generate cold, instead you gain fire, because we took this elemental equilibrium, if you remember. Alright, so why do I use Chart of the Storm instead of a +3 level spell skill? Because I like to have lightning bolt when I'm clearing map. Like, it's pretty satisfying. But if you want more damage, of course, like the damage on Comet and also Spark, you can get an amulet with +3 spell skills instead of the Chart of the Storm. But Chart of the Storm is also great. It gives you a lightning bolt. It's really satisfying clearing maps. For the belt, you don't need to use ingenuity. You can just use a normal belt or like any belt. It's flexible for the belt, the helmet. Also, you don't need to use the set of cataclysm lazuli ring because I think it's around 1 div right now, and also it doesn't give you resistance but instead give you a lot of critical. So it's up to you. You want to become more defensive or like offensive. For the armor, it's up to you. If you want energy shield, you can get a lot of energy shield. Also, you can get spirit if you want to like do a dual cast on crit and also cast on elemental ailments. Yep, I think that's all for the video. If you have any question, you can write down on the comment. This build is pretty amazing for clearing maps and also bossing, but the downside is the movement speed. Like, we cannot compete with Pathfinder. Okay, so for weapon set 1 is mainly focusing on mapping for using your spark, and weapon set 2 is for bossing, which is Comet. That's why we take these nodes for weapon slot 2 and also energy nodes here and then here for more Comet damage. For spark we take this, increase duration, also increase projectile speed. Yeah. Also this cast speed. Also this defensive while mapping. Yeah, so weapon set 1 is for mapping and weapon set 2 is for bossing. You can just press X to see the changes. See? I'm using only one weapon. It's up to you if you want to use 2 weapons or like just 1 weapon. It's really up to you. But I'm using 1 weapon. So as you can see, we are on weapon slot 1. The spark damage is high, and when we change to weapon slot 2 it decreases. And then on here we are on weapon slot 2. As you can see, the Comet damage is high, and on weapon slot 1 it's lower. So make sure to change to weapon slot 2 when you're bossing. Also, it's worth mentioning that my current setup is pretty bad. Like, I don't use any buff like skeleton offering. I forgot the name. I think I don't use offering skills, and also I don't use sigil of power. So the damage can be more high. Like, I'm too lazy to set up before bossing. Like, guys, I even haven't finished the Kabbalah clan relic quest. Like, I just want to go to the boss room and then defeat the boss. I don't want to set up. I'm too lazy, guys. Alright, I think that's all for the video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comments, and see you guys on the next video.